So President Trump endorsed an opponent here. How does President Trump do in general when he endorses a Republican primary?
Today, there is a major election. It's the Kentucky House primary race, which is up for Thomas Massie's seat. Now, before we do this segment, I want to say I've interviewed Thomas, I don't know, probably a half dozen times. I've enjoyed chatting with him very much. I am very in line with a lot of libertarian ideals. Actually, about a year ago, he was in Miami. He called me up. I had dinner with him, no, this must be 2 years ago, because it was with his wife, who has since passed away. About 2 years ago, after their kid got married, one of their sons got married not too far from me. He called me up. I had dinner with him and a few other people. We had a great night. So I like him personally. I think some of his policies have gone a little kooky, but putting that aside for a moment, there's now a big fight for this primary election, and Trump is supporting Ed Gallrein, who is his competitor. And Trump's argument basically is Massie, as a libertarian, well, first off, Massie keeps putting all the Epstein stuff on Trump and everything else, but even getting over the Epstein stuff, Massie often votes with Democrats or doesn't vote with Republicans for libertarian reasons, meaning he has his ideals, and he just doesn't vote. So he didn't vote for the big, beautiful bill. He didn't vote for certain things related to closing the border, a series of other things. That's his libertarian beliefs. Trump wants people that will be on board with him, especially because we have such slim margins. So a lot of people are trying to make this about all sorts of things. I think this is Trump wants people who will back him because he realizes how tenuous the Republican grip on the House is. Anywho, it's gotten a little nasty. The election is today. Hopefully we'll have a result tonight. But this from Trump on Truth Social. The worst congressman in the long and storied history of the Republican Party is Thomas Massie. He's an obstructionist and a fool. Vote him out of office tomorrow, Tuesday. It will be a great day for America. So look, I don't think he's a fool. If I'm not mistaken, he's an electrical engineer and literally built a battery for his house using a Tesla battery. Like, that's pretty cool. So he's not a fool. Now, is he an obstructionist? Yes, you can argue that, right? Again, because he has libertarian beliefs, and there's a difference between libertarian and conservative. And usually libertarians, unfortunately, are making something like seventh grade arguments that are nice in theory but don't work in the real world. Trump is a real world guy, and Trump's going, boy, it's hard for me to govern with such slim majorities when I have guys that have an R next to their name who vote against the big, beautiful bill, who vote against the border wall, this, that, the other thing. So that's why Trump is pissed about this. But now there's some interesting numbers coming out of this, and again, we will see what happens tonight. But Trump has an unbelievable track record. If Trump endorses somebody, they win. But don't take my word for it. Here's that little hopped up guy, Harry Enten, over on CNN with his big screen and his numbers.
So President Trump endorsed an opponent here. How does President Trump do in general when he endorses a Republican primary?
You know, we've quoted the movie Good Burger every single time, basically, when we've done this. When, in fact, you go against President Trump, you go in the grinder, and you could just see this. Times Trump endorsees have won in GOP primaries. It's about 95% each of the last 4 cycles. Now, I will note, you know, sometimes he endorses and there's no real challenger. But even in those cases, the challengers to the incumbent have won a majority of the time as well. And one of the key reasons why that is, right, is you look at Trump's approval rating within the GOP, 21st century own party approval. At this point in term 2, he's still at 83%. That's more popular than Obama was with Democrats, way more popular than George W. Bush was with Republicans back in 2006. So the power of a Trump endorsement is still sky high, and we'll see tomorrow if that happens with Thomas Massie going down.
We're watching that very, very closely, Harriet, and thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
A lot of news. We'll be right back.
Okay, so you can't really argue with the numbers on that. When Trump endorses, for whatever reason, and yes, he pointed out sometimes it's a weak primary candidate or whatever it is, but 95% of the time, the Republican that Trump endorses wins. And that shows you that Trump, for all the Tucker screaming and Megyn Kelly screaming and everything else, everyone's abandoning Trump. It just simply isn't true. I mean, Harry Enten, again, CNN is no friend to Trump, but they put the poll up 2 weeks ago about 97% support amongst the base. So he's got huge support amongst the base, and when he endorses someone, they win. Maybe this will be an outlier. I don't know. We'll find out tonight, I suppose. But here's a bit more from Enten talking about how Massie's odds, since Trump just got involved in this over the last couple of days, have seemingly collapsed.
Look at this. Chance that Massie is, in fact, the Kentucky 4 GOP nominee. It has been falling considerably over the last 10 days, according to the cash prediction market. Look at this. It was 71% 10 days ago. Look where that number is now. It's 44%. So chances more likely than not, though it is very close, that Massie will, in fact, go down to defeat. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see the votes getting cast and counted, because this is quite close. But any time that an incumbent member of Congress goes down, he has done something seriously wrong in the minds of the voters. And in this case, if Massie goes down, it is that he crossed Donald John Trump.
Right. So 71% to, what was that, 44%, something like that? Like, that's a massive collapse in about 2 weeks. And it's only in the last 2 weeks that Trump got involved in this thing.
On June 11th, the Rubin Report will be live at the Fillmore Miami Beach with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Ben Shapiro, Adam Carolla, Jillian Michaels, and little old me. Seats are limited and going fast, so if you've been watching the show and want to experience it live, scan the QR code right over here and grab your tickets. I'll see you there.